live in Pomona. I'm a writer. And I'm originally from a town called Mission, Texas, which is right on the Texas-Mexican border. And I grew up in Mission with a mother who loved to write letters. She and her older sister, Charlotte, would swap letters every week. And not only did they write letters to each other, but they liked to tell me how back in the 1920s and 30s, they saw their mother write letters to her mother, who was my great-grandmother. So it's a long line of letter writers. So my mother showed me the value and enjoyment of writing letters. She drilled me from a young age into you always write thank you notes when you get a gift, and you always write letters home weekly when you go to college. So when I came to the Northeast to go to college, I immediately started writing letters every week. And my mother did the same. She always kept in touch with me. And this continued after I moved to New York and started my swinging New York lifestyle in 1980. At a certain point in the early 1980s, my mother got cancer and actually moved in with her sister Charlotte, who lived in a town called Tyler, Texas. So I dutifully started writing letters addressed to both of them. And I kept this up until my mother died, and then after that I kept writing to Aunt Charlotte for another 13 years. And I saved all the letters. Here's a bundle of them from my mother and Aunt Charlotte and my grandfather, who was born in 1899. And this is just a small portion of letters from 1982. So I saved them, and it's a real precious legacy to have. So every Monday, I would write a letter to the two sisters, Shirley and Charlotte, recapping the drama of my swinging New York lifestyle. Now, God forbid that I ever missed a week, because they were very adamant that I should get the letters in. If I was off for a week, then I could expect a phone call from my Aunt Charlotte wanting to know what's going on. I've gotten a little too big for my britches living in Brooklyn. So you have to remember that my Aunt Charlotte lived in deep East Texas, and she had an accent that was a little bit like Lady Bird Johnson's. Given this audience, you'll probably know who Lady Bird Johnson was. And so she pronounced my first name not as Van, which is quick one syllable, but it's kind of a long drawn out Van. So when she didn't get her letter, she would call me and say, Van, where is my letter? And I would be a little chagrined, and I would write back to her. And in fact, a letter I wrote to her in 1985 alludes to this, where I said, Dear Aunt Charlotte, thanks for the call today. I have been meaning to write, but things have been hectic. Not frantic, but enough to keep me occupied. And so when Aunt Charlotte wrote to me every week, what did she say? Well, she liked to talk about her friends, her children and grandchildren, celebrities like Andy Rooney when they cycled through Tyler for a speech. She loved to talk about the Golden Girls, which is a show she liked to compare to the Jack Benny show. But what really got Aunt Charlotte revved up was Wall Street. She was a wheeler dealer back in the days when she had to do her stock charts by hand. There was no internet to kick out stock charts. So in one letter from January 1985, she wrote to me, I did good things recently in the market. I first sold Diamond Shamrock on the afternoon the impending merger with Occidental was announced. I got 20 1/4 and made a bit of profit. On Monday, when the merger fell through, it went down to 3. So the letters I sent to my mother and then later to Aunt Charlotte were a weekly journal of my life. My career as a magazine writer, my dating life, and then later marriage and family life. And a lot of it dealt with issues of disappointment, frustration, things not really going the way I wanted them to. So on September 17, 1993, I mused, I never thought I would get in this jam, but here I am, and on some level, it's hard to accept. I keep hoping things will stabilize, but they never really have. Having a house, medical problems, little did I know what life had in store for me. So by 1997, Aunt Charlotte's failing health became obvious in her shaky handwriting and uneven typing. In one of the last letters I wrote to her, I talked about my son, who had just passed his 3rd birthday. We took Sam to his first movie last weekend to see Hercules in a multiplex. It went well and he enjoyed it and even wants to go again. The era of regular mail ended for me with her death that fall. Email's arrival swiftly made slow letters obsolete, except for traditionalist cranks like me who still like writing letters. I miss the days of snail mail. For me, handwritten communications express your personality. My mother and Aunt Charlotte had instantly recognizable handwriting, and their voices really came through in their letters that they wrote to me. How many of us today know and savor the handwriting of a relative or friend? Very few, I wager. This audience looks like you probably do. So put her letters to me. They mark a moment of joint time of just me sharing with just you. A letter gives somebody a physical piece of yourself that's really unique. And plus, stamped envelopes don't come with a BCC or reply to all option, and nobody's going to copy and post on the internet your handwritten letter. Hopefully not. So I still send real letters. I have some friends from childhood and others who like to write letters also, so we will swap letters. I write thank you cards and birthday cards, and unfortunately condolence notes these days. And I just like the intimacy that letters bring. So on that note, I want to move into the audience participation part of the day. I want you all to enjoy writing letters. I have here lovely stamped envelopes and stationery with forever stamps. So if anybody wants one, I'm happy to give it to you. I have enough for everybody. And you can write to your parents, you can write to friends, you can write to your kids. You can write to your county executive, you can write to the president. Whatever you want to do, here is your opportunity, and I want you to take advantage of it. And I know somewhere that my mother and Aunt Charlotte would be very pleased if you did. Okay, there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, one for everybody here. Okay.